Greetings everyone, today I do wish to share my thoughts regarding the revamped introduction and tutorial quest for new players titled Awakening that released in 2020. The Awakening quest updates the original introduction to Warframe at the start of War's Prize and then links it to the high quality cinematic previously shown at 2019's TennoCon. Now, I don't think anyone can disagree that the cinematic itself looks impressive. It shows off aspects of the game, and most importantly, it provides new players with a glimpse at the potential of their starting Warframe selection's power once upgraded. Of course, at the time of recording, that selection being Mag, Vault, and Excalibur. Now, while the cinematic and the quest does not provide any significant improvement in regards to helping and informing new players about the Warframe universe, it does offer glimpses and foreshadows quests and abilities, such as the Dax soldiers that are referenced and shown in the later quest War Within, a look back at the high status Grenadier before genetic degradation, and then transference, with the cinematic character showing somatics disappearing into blue dust, and then your Warframe's awakening. Now, I do like these short little references, but then again, for new players, it's not that helpful, since Dax aren't actually an enemy type in the game, at least as of recording. Maybe that changes with the Deviri Paradox if released, and the only ones that we actually see in-game is one that sits atop a fake mountain, screams the Conclave at us, and the other just sits on a chair looking at us while we convert into a beast. So yeah, not really helpful to a new player. Sadly, I do feel like there will be a large gap for new players between this cinematic introduction and then the next cinematic quest, which I believe is the Second Dream. So hopefully in that gap, moving forward, we might see DE update the old quest in some form just to make them more modern and synchronize better with the overall universe post Second Dream. Now, lastly, relating to the cinematic, one of my initial thoughts when I was watching was, how will the jump from the cinematic to actual gameplay and its visuals feel? To that question, I can happily say it wasn't as bad as I initially thought, since at that time I was thinking about games like Star Wars: The Old Republic and their cinematic to gameplay jump, where the game is miles behind visually to that of their cutscenes, and their cutscenes are quite beautiful. Regardless, thanks to DE's at times troubling addiction or love to update Warframe to the best it can visually be, the issue became mute once the cinematic concluded, because while it is a jump, it's actually not that bad. Now, the following will be taken from a Twitter post I made, and it shares my thoughts about the quest's visual and environmental design as well as gameplay, and it will also expand a bit later. If what I just played through in the Awakening quest was a new tile set for Earth, or it replaced the current tile set with areas like it, I would be in love. A linear version of an open world with beautiful, large, open corridors and sections featuring towns, civilians, Kashyyyk-like trees, mining, caves, and more. The Corpus ship and Gas City updated tile sets were great, and DE have opened up each tile set to remove the old feeling of being cramped, and they have done so while maintaining the corridor gameplay, which is what I personally love about the game. So if we do get more new areas in tileset form while seeing outdated tilesets updated, that would be awesome. Now, I can just imagine how entertaining it would be if there were more Grenadier units raiding, attacking, and roaming the areas you go through during this quest, just making for a standard mission experience with high enemy density if it was an actual tileset. So props to the design department and environmental artists, because navigating these new areas, even if it had reused assets in some parts, felt great. Now, of course, when it comes to this new introduction and when players complete the Awakening quest, I do feel as if it would be a tad jarring for new players going from a modern 2020 designed area to that of a 2015-2016 tile set like Earth, or the Grenadier ships, where areas are overblown and are easy to get stuck on with Warframe's updated movement. But that is just a thought, and I'm not entirely sure if new players will have that experience, but I know even after the amount of hours I've played, I do get stuck on a lot of stuff in those old tile sets. Now, to add to this video, having watched my old War Prize video and having just played the Awakening quest, it is a shame that most of the dialogue has been taken from that tutorial section of War's Prize, and then shoved into the Awakening quest whilst removing some characters such as War's fellow Grenadier commander who he kills. However, I will say that DE did manage to make the reuse work, and it wasn't exactly blatant. I had to actually watch the original tutorial to notice that reuse, and since that has been removed, there's not really an issue for new players because they have managed to improve the tutorial just a little bit. To elaborate, in the old tutorial, Digital Extremes neglected the advanced movement system and hid it within the tutorial section of the game's codex. This led to, from experience through the Mastery Rank Guide series that I upload on the channel, players not knowing how to bullet jump or bullet jump upwards by the time they are Mastery Rank 9, which is surprising since that's more than a few hours into the game. So thankfully, DE with the Awakening quest integrated the movement tutorial into the environment with information pop-ups along the way. So hopefully from now on, players will know how to use Warframe's advanced mobility. However, on the downside, since the quest is essentially a reskin, it is a shame that the new areas, the cinematic and a few environmental sections that teach basic movement, as just mentioned, were the only things added with the revamped new player experience. It might have been good to go over some of the game modes in the game, even though they do become pretty basic and easy to understand. It would have been nice to just have some semblance of tutorial in regards to them once you do that. Now, luckily, the Orbiter and Lisette sequence remains in the game through the now follow-up Quest 4's prize, but as far as I'm aware, no changes have been made to how you access the Mod Terminal, Foundry Terminal, Arsenal Terminal, and more with their tutorial screens, as you have to manually click tutorial instead of it showing you one when you go into those screens for the first time. So I think there may be some improvements needed there, maybe a in-game video that plays on how to mod or something along the lines of that, just so it's easier and all combined in the game so players don't have to go to YouTube, Google, etc. to figure out how to play the game as soon as they launch it up. Now overall, I do think it is a shame that it's just a new cutscene and quest exclusive area for this new player experience, but on the bright side, hopefully in the future we see a new tile set or an updated Earth tile set with the lessons DE have learnt through the Corpus ship, Gas City, and now this new tutorial sequence with expanded corridors, environments that feel alive with civilians, wounded or alive, or them using terminals, where you can actually feel like the tile set is alive and you don't have to have an open world that, in my opinion of course, feels boring and dead. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Awakening introduction to the game, and yeah, I guess my hopes for the future of tile sets. But I'm going to edit 3 2020 recap videos, one of which will be all the fixes made to Warframe in 2020 that will hopefully be like an audiobook, so you just listen to it, all changes made to Warframe in 2020, and all additions to Warframe in 2020. And those last two will be videos with actual showcases of the changes and additions. Now, if you're interested in any of those videos, keep an eye out on the channel, but that is enough opinion out there. Let me know yours in the comments section, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.